Hey there, you're watching the Dave Does channel. I am Dave Does, and today I'm going to be checking out some Soulbound, and this song is Not Metal Enough. Now, Soulbound is a band I checked out, a long time ago. It feels like ages, probably a good couple of years ago. Got really into them for a while. Had one of their albums. I still have the album. Listened to that album quite a lot on repeat for a while, and then that's kind of disappeared off, gone on to some other things. But yeah, enjoy the vibe of the track, the industrial elements of this song. So yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. I want to see where it is. The last album I had was maybe 2 albums back, maybe something like that. So I'm going to find out what this one's about. This is Not Metal Enough, so that should be fun to find out. How metal is it? Now we're going to play the video from start to finish, no pausing, no talking during it, and then at the end I'll break it into the video element and the musical element, and we'll see what it's all about. But yeah, let's check out Soulbound, Not Metal Enough. I'll see you in 5 minutes and 36 seconds. Let's do it.
Of the judgment we dominate. We bleed distortion, glitch and rage. No roots, no cage, we break the chain. That's too soft, they spit. Where's the grit? That's too weird, they growl. Hell no, not this shit. Not metal enough. Through the blade. Roll the roads and rust the fear. Praise from thrones, the hotel dear. Pressed out chase like they survive, but we just love and kill the light. Not metal enough, your roots are in trouble. Swinging left and right, we rise in the smoke. Things spin, whisper, we break the frame. Not metal enough, your roots are in trouble. Swinging left and right, we rise in the smoke. Things spin, whisper, we break the frame. And I'm completely yours. We laugh at the blade. Not metal enough, your fear is a joke. Swinging hot, no shame, we play with the flame. Grow, break, echo, the light, the blade.
Okay, right. I'm going to keep straight to the main video. There is a little bit of talking afterwards, but it's in German and I have no idea what he's saying. So I'm going to skip that bit. So if you want to see that, check out the original video. So this song is obviously about the characteristics of how people like us on this channel, and probably other people will say this isn't metal, this isn't metal. Gatekeepers saying baby metal isn't metal, or baby metal's a great example of that because yeah, that gets referred to a lot of the time, and Soulbound probably had that because of the synth pop influences. And I think this is a really interesting debate because I'm someone who loves to not pigeonhole, but I like to define something. The reason I like to define it is because if you were to say, oh, well, let's say a band, let's say Metallica. Metallica is metal. Carcass is metal. However, I'm not going to like, if I like Metallica, which I do, and I know I don't like Carcass, but if you just call them all metal, how do I know what type of metal? So you need to know what your benchmark is. So when you say something is not metal enough, it really depends on your own personal benchmark. So if you are a fan of Bolt Thrower, Deicide, if you are Morbid Angel and then you hear baby metal, you are going to say that is definitely not metal enough, because that is, in your head, that is not metal. However, if you are a big fan of, I don't know, if your genre was rock set and heart, and you heard baby metal, you might go, well, that's actually quite metal. So it really depends on your own personal reference points. Now, what I like to say is metal, saying something is metal is such an overarching umbrella. Metal is just covers so many subgenres, so you really need to narrow it down. So this has got metallic elements with there's a huge amount of 80s synth pop in here, with underlying industrial elements as well in there. So you've got industrial, you've got metal, you've got 80s synth pop in there. I mean, you could say there is Spandau Ballet and Duran Duran mixed into this sort of sound as well, which is absolutely fine. I mean, if you talk about bands like the Birthday Massacre, I absolutely love that band. Will I class them as metal? I would probably call them hard metallic rock synth. Why would I call them that rather than just go, oh yeah, you're overcomplicating it, you're trying to pigeonhole? I'm really not. I'm just trying to make it easier for people to find bands that they like or might be more interested in. If you just want to call everything metal, you're more than welcome to, but you've just basically put yourself in a massive problem as far as trying to find. You're going to have to listen to every single band out there to try and work out where your ballpark is. If you know you definitely do not like extreme metal, because you could say, yes, baby metal is metal, great. Lorna Shore is metal, great. Very different bands. I like baby metal, I can't stand Lorna Shore. And that's why this whole thing comes around. So I think there is this thing about not pigeonholing bands, and I do agree with that. I don't want to say like everyone should say they are this type of band. Iron Maiden is a new wave of British heavy metal band and that's all they can be. But some of their songs have different aspects, but they do have a lot of that in there, so it helps to give you a reference point. Anyway, now that I've had my rant about it, because it is so funny the amount of people that get annoyed at us calling them gatekeepers when we say it's not, when people say this is the best metal band, and we're like, that's not really metal, that's K-rock or K-metal, or metallic dance music. It's not the classic metal genre, but it's still very good. Okay, so let's move on, people. Let's not get too messed up on semantics. I enjoyed the track. I thought it was really funny to say not metal enough, because actually I would have said, yeah, that song isn't that metal overall. You've got the dance pattern or the heavy drum pattern, but the drum pattern's been clicked out so that it's much more of a dance drum sound on the drum pattern. Not the pattern, sorry, the actual sound of the kit. It's not a really metallic drum sound on it. And yeah, you've got the heavy guitars on it, but the guitars are, even though the guitars are very much like what you'd hear in like dance music, you imagine things like bands like Prodigy would be a good example of that. But yeah, it's an industrial band, industrial mixed in dance music. So if I think of bands like Nine Inch Nails, they've been doing it since their inception back in the late 80s, early 90s. So this has been around for a very, very long time. I love the synth pop. The chorus is very big, very hooky, open chord strumming. You can't fault that at all. It's a very good hooky song, and it's talking about stop trying to pigeonhole people. And I think that's something that bands always have to. You get asked in interviews. If you look at the written interviews you see for all these press releases, is what genre of bands, which bands do you compare yourself with? And bands hate comparing themselves. I personally don't. When people ask me about my band, Tell Us Scribe, and go, can you compare us? I said, well, I don't. We have a lot of different influences, but if you, the storytelling elements of maybe Bride Deer, because I think, yeah, there's the delicacy and the storytelling there. There's the gothic nature. There's the theatrical element of Ward 16. You could throw some Alice Cooper in there as well. So there's a few different influences, but we also have metallic. So we like our Metallica. We like some of our drops are like Pantera-esque in there as well. So you've got different things in there, but I would just go, we're a gothic metal band. And I hate it when bands just go, we don't define our genres. We work outside of a genre. No, you don't. Everyone can be placed in a genre of some sort. You can. Everyone can. You can find every band. You might have to have 5 or 6 different genres, but you can say this song, if you like, sounds like something, or this band on this album sounds very much like that. You're not saying you have to say that for the rest of your life. It just helps people understand. Can you tell I'm quite passionate about that? I just find it. Can you imagine if you went into a music store and every guitar-based metal band just was like, metal, done. And I know they do that. If you think something like HMV over here in the UK, they have a metal section, and they do have all the different types of metal bands. But the problem is, again, you just don't know. You can't filter down in those ones, and that's the problem. You're just going alphabetical, trying to find it in a broad spectrum of things. So, but yeah, music video. Let's talk about the music video as well, because I've talked about, yeah, music-wise, very catchy, good hooky chorus. I like the lighting effect. It's very 80s in style again, really added to the hooky chorus aesthetic. So yeah, very nice, striking, good performance from the band. No storytelling element whatsoever in there, pure performance. So doesn't have a huge amount of rewatch value from that point of view, apart from if you just want to listen to the song and have something to look at the same time. So there's no real story, which is a shame. They could have done something with that maybe. I don't know how they would approach it, but it could have been quite interesting to see how they would have taken on that challenge. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know, let me know what you think about the whole genre and labelling and pigeonholing and gatekeeping, and I think people get too hung up on it anyway, let's put it that way. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.